How's it going, everyone? Well, this video was asked for by a couple people that were curious on the AUG actual charging system. If there's some type of forward assist on the charge handle for the bolt carrier group, if you get a dirty round or the chamber's gummed up due to like full auto fire. If you guys were at AUG's in August and came out and saw me and did the range day demo, you know we shot this particular AUG for about 2,000 rounds. We brought out a full auto variant and we ran about 500 rounds through it at the end of the range day. So I hope you all enjoyed getting to shoot this one and try it. You know, Corvus Defense, Gearhead Works, all put in to bring that event and make it happen. We did all the upgrades, and the upgrades are all still running. As you guys can see, we still have the case deflector, the oversized mag release, and we are running the QD actual carrier lock position here. That's actually what locks your receiver into the chassis, and that's provided by Gearhead Works. Also we'll rotate this around, also have the Corvus Defense charging handle. So to answer the question about forward assist, normally like on an AR, when you pull back, the bolt carrier group doesn't have a whole lot of tension. You're only using a main buffer tube spring, which runs up the backside of your stock. And for the most part, like those springs, they're not as tensioned as a bullpup for what a bullpup has to do for actually keeping your receiver and the whole carrier group here. The difference between the AUG and the AR just in that platform is the AUG has two steel rails inside that are spring loaded that are under probably twice to 3 times the tension as a standard AR variant and everything. On the single spring, you're probably pulling somewhere around 10 pounds to 15 pounds on that single big coil spring that runs inside your buffer tube for your stock, where on the AUG, you're actually on these two main rail systems with the spring. You're still about the same pressure, but it's on 2 rails. So instead of it being a single point pushing directly up the backside for your bolt carrier group, this one's actually running on rails, the bolt carrier group forward. So it's got the pressure on both sides. So technically, you've doubled the pressure. With that being said, yes, an AUG does have somewhat of a forward assist, and I'm going to show you what that is. Granted, in all the years of running one, using these, you know, fielding them, doing everything, I've never actually had to do this in the field or know of anybody that has. It's shown more to make sure that the lockup for your barrel is fully engaged. It also is really shown for when you do barrel changeouts. So let me rotate this around. I'll kind of demo this and show you guys. With this particular one, I've got it locked open, and if you're familiar with AUGs, here on the front you actually have your disconnect handle. We'll rotate that forward, and we'll go ahead and pull out the barrel. I mean, it's literally that simple. Now granted, the bolt did come forward. We'll go ahead and set that backwards. That's what the big clunk was. That normally doesn't happen. But here on your barrel, to quick change one out, we'll rotate this in. Your disconnect is right here at the front. It's this little teardrop button. It's I've always called it the honeycomb button because it's shaped very similar to like the internal convex of a honeycomb. When you push this down, it actually disconnects the locking mechanism for the barrel. And when you rotate this around, we'll pull it out, and I will show you. On your barrel, you'll actually see right here that there are 2 holes. The first one is that actual lockup that's on the front side of your receiver. The second one is actually where the charge handle comes through and locks into the barrel assembly, and that's where your forward assist is, that last like 1/4 of an inch. The actual lock is to make sure that this barrel stays accented in the right direction. So the gas piston works and everything's in line with the breech. So that's what this extra hole is for. And I'm going to kind of show you here on the front. Let's see. You can actually see here is that detent. When we work it up here, it's rotating in and out. And then when you drop down your bolt, right here is that extra alignment lug. And that's what your front is. Now actually pulling this back and making it hang, you can see it's not there. And the actual forward assist is when you actually just push it forward and lock your bolt carrier group into the breech. So if you were to short stroke this or try to keep it quiet for some reason and it doesn't go all the way in or it is dirty, it's close enough here on the backside for your carrier assembly that you can discharge the rifle. The firing pin, you might get a light primer strike, so you'd actually have to strip around at that point. It is possible, if you don't get this to fully seat, you're not going to hurt the barrel or the gas piston, you're just going to have some blow by here on the front. So we're going to go ahead and lock this back up. I guess I can show you here. You can see this first one is actually locked into the front side of the barrel. We're going to run this forward. As you see, it's not here. And then basically, with the thumb, you actually just reach up with the thumb, or you can do it with the palm of your hand. Very similar to an AR where you would actually use your right hand to actually push or jam on your forward assist. With the AUG, you just reach up, hit it forward, you can pull it back. You can hit it with your thumb. The springs are what really are driving and pushing, and as you can see, it actually pops loose, or it pops forward and locks that barrel in. So now the barrel actually has nowhere to rotate. It's pinned in two different positions, let alone now the gas piston system is all aligned. So that's kind of how that works for your forward assist in general. Like I said, I've never had this issue happen to me in the field, and I've shot this thing a ton since it was built. Back, let me think, October of 2018 is when I built this gun down at the Bessemer plant when I picked it up. Actually, this was the actual AUG that I did my armorer's course in and did the assembly to complete teardown and went through it. So I've been shooting this gun. Anytime you've ever seen me with an AUG, this is it. Now granted, I've added some different features and things to it, but it's been to 2 range day demos. I've taken it to a carbine class. I actually use this as a personal truck gun, and when I do classes or want to shoot rifle, this is my go-to one. So this particular rifle probably has somewhere in the neighborhood of 5,000 to 6,000 rounds so far through it easily. Kind of at the point of personal shooting, I know for sure I've put 2,000 rounds through it. Competition-wise, letting everybody else get to shoot and play with it, I know we've done, at least that. So for round counts, a little fuzzy for exactly how much. I could double check it if someone's really interested how much I've shot this particular one. But that's it, guys. I just want to kind of talk about how that works. I did mention on if you have a failure to extract. One of 2 things is going to happen. Failure to extract is going to happen due to you've ripped the whole back end of your case off due to this extractor system, or the extractor is broke. There's just no other way around it. I've yet to see one of these not pull a case or do something. It's one or the other, that the case is totally destroyed. You've ripped the case apart and you've got a piece jammed inside your breech in the receiver, or the actual extractor at some point has failed. I haven't seen a newer AUG fail on the extractor side. I have seen a case be ripped in half. I also have seen in one instance where somebody was using steel case ammo and the rounds were a little moist, the chamber was quietly hot, and it kind of welded itself, and it did take a pair of pliers to get it out. But at that point, it's what I would consider a catastrophic failure, that it's not going to chamber around, it's not going to extract it. That's physically going to take That's physically going to take pulling the gun down. Remove the barrel, go ahead and pull the receiver and pull the carrier group away from it, and get a pair of pliers out and punch it out, or run a ramming rod through the front side and pop the casing out. But that was due to steel case ammo actually fusing itself inside. I've only seen it happen one time, and it was on a much older A2 variant, probably an AUG that was at least 10 or 15 years old. So that's what happened if you have a problem of case extracting. I'd actually be more concerned on double feeding. If you've ever noticed and you do fast mag interchanges, and I've actually, I don't have it here on the table, but I'll be doing a review on the new P-mags. I would recommend double check your round count for magazines. Maybe even go one less round. When you jam rounds in, sometimes you can bump internal if you have the bolt open, and it will try to double feed 2 rounds like that. That is something that happens occasionally. It happens all the time if you happen to put 1 extra round inside the mag, or you really stress and for somehow you put 31 rounds in a 30-round mag, or 43 rounds in the 42-round mag. It does happen. So when you're loading mags, shortchange yourself 1 or 2 rounds will actually help your mags out. It'll help you from doing double feed. Something else to do to help with double feed is don't rely on bolt hold open. If you're running a standard AUG and you have the bolt lock and you're doing mag changes, it's actually, I found it better for competitional use, to make sure that they're still around inside, or when you're doing your mag change, drop the bolt, slam your mag home, and then go ahead and just charge it up and go for it, and that will actually eliminate the problem of a double feed. So kind of a tech tip, kind of going over it. If you guys want to know something else with the AUGs in general, differences between them, let me know.